I'm Daniel. I brought here to Miguel my 2004 Dodge Neon SRT4. Miguel is going to be in for a little surprise for LSD front wheel drive. Big turbo, 38mm wastegate from AGP manifold, catch can, and it's tuned on 27 pounds of boost. My first car was an 07 Honda Civic EX. It was automatic. It was the R18 1.8. That was my dad's car before he passed away, so he gave that car to me, and that's kind of what introduced me into working on cars. So my very first mod on that car was a DC Sports catback exhaust that I got for my 18th birthday, I believe. That was very exciting. I remember I stayed up all night till like 2, 3 in the morning, lifting the car up, installing the parts. But that car was more of a daily. After that, my brother had an Eclipse sitting under a tree for about 2 years. He used to use it as a daily for work, but they eventually ended up rear-ending it. So I took it to myself to pretty much get it back to life. The car wouldn't start when I first bought it. I got it for $1,000, which was relatively cheap back then, because now the DSM market is a lot higher from what I've seen. So got familiar with the 428 platform. It was automatic, but eventually, a couple months in, I ended up turboing it, and first pull with the turbo, automatic transmission just could not hold. After that, me and my brother decided to manual swap it. We were actually influenced by Miguel DSM himself when he was manual swapping his white 428. But you live and you learn. That car was built very, very poorly. It was 16-year-old me doing whatever I could with the scraps I had in my pocket. After the DSM blew up, I ended up buying a built block for the Evo swap. So I'm gonna be bringing that car back to life, but I'm not gonna be all-wheel like Miguel yet. I'm gonna start with a front-wheel drive setup, which he explained to me how to do, so I have help. I'm sorry to say, but US SRT4 guys aren't the best. Everybody fights with everyone, you know, about who's fastest. You can't really enjoy the car in the community, but if you still do look at the forums, there's always people who are still willing to help, and that's how I was able to figure out how to get this car running. It's kind of the same setup as the 420A. If you look at the head on the car, you could see the Diamond Star motor badge on the side of the head. So jumping from my turbo 420A making 200 horsepower to 500 was kind of a scary jump. How I got into SRT4s is kind of funny. My little brother, so it's kind of funny because Miguel just told me this, but yes, he is my homie. But we grew up together, so we're family. We ended up going to a car meet at the same time. I had took my Eclipse, it was still automatic, and he had a red 2003 Dodge Neon SRT4, and he hit a two-step. He just started revving his car. Started building cars together. We started hanging out more. He sold the Neon, and a couple years later, graduating high school, we both made a goal that after we graduate high school, we were both gonna own another Dodge Neon SRT4. It is my daily. It's not a crazy, you know, drag car. Still has AC, still has power steering. Everything works on it, heater works. The only issue I'm having with it right now is my shifter cables. With that being said, second and fourth gear is not really my friend right now, but I can still get it in a gear. So the SRT4 obviously was only made for 3 years. Even in the early 2000s, it was the underdog. You know, these cars kind of just came out of nowhere because of the tuner community, as in back then, like with Fast and Furious. So this was kind of Dodge's way to represent their part of the tuner culture. Obviously, it's a Dodge Neon. Nobody really likes a Neon because it's a basic car. It is a basic car, but the SRT4 was a basic car that can pack a punch. think if you really want to get into an SRT4, you should. They're gonna be part of the classic cars soon. They're already going up in price. People are asking 7, 8, even up to, I've seen one go for $15,000 actually, not too long ago. Obviously, you get what you pay for. You spend more, you're probably gonna get a built one. I honestly needed a daily since my Honda was wrecked, and was a risky choice, but so far she's been good to me. A lot of people look down on this car because, I mean, it's a neon. You see neons on the street and you're kind of like, it's just a little family sedan. It's not really nothing, you know. It's nothing big, nothing fast. You don't expect it. If you ran into a stock neon, you wouldn't really expect for it to do what it does. Oh, and to help any SRT4 owners out there, if you are looking for any SRT4 motor parts, PT Cruisers, PT GTs have the same exact 2.4 liter motor inside them. So if you go to the junkyard, if you need something motor-wise, you can go get any part off of PT GT and it'll bolt right up. See, I've gotten asked that question a lot, either if I choose the DSM platform or the SRT4 more. Honestly, they're both about the same to work on, but as far as the 428 over the motor in the SRT4, I would completely choose the SRT4. I just like working on Mitsubishis more. That's me. The only reason I got an SRT4 was because it was part of that Chrysler community. Definitely, if I can get back, and I will get back soon, to the DSM platform, I would 100% choose the DSM platform over the SRT4 platform. The only good thing about these cars are they are cheap to modify. Like, parts are not as expensive as if you were to go buy parts for like a 4G63 for the GSTs or GSXs. Parts are rare for those cars now, so they're a lot more expensive. These cars are a little bit newer, so parts are still more obtainable. That's why it's easier to keep them up and daily. But from what I remember, even working on the 420A, I couldn't find parts at the junkyard, couldn't find parts at, you know, AutoZone, O'Reilly's, or you would have to either source them down from someone or, you know, have to fix it the way you could and get it running. So exterior wise, I don't know the brand of the wheels. It came with the car, but they were black, they were faded. They're 17s by 8. I'm running a 235, 45, 17 in the front and the same in the back. So same setup all around. I do have the custom eyelids on the SRT4 headlights, which not a lot of people do. They don't like it. I felt like I went with the black car, so made it more fun. Other than that, the car came with no wing. I remember I got a wing, it was blue, I painted it black. The hood also was gray when I first bought it, and I traded it with another SRT4 owner where I live up in the high desert. Interior wise, the interior on these cars are very basic, so you can't really do much to them. Your gauges, I do run a boost gauge and an AFR gauge in there. There's a huge selection for these cars as far as just engine mods. Exterior mods, you don't really need a lot to make these cars look good. They're kind of like the DSMs. Throw a nice set of wheels, some nice, you know, meaty tires, lower it a little bit, an inch, inch and a half. I believe this one's lowered an inch, and I still rub because of the tire. Engine mods, if you go with what I got, I have a 38 millimeter AGP wastegate with an open pipe upwards. I do have a 3-inch downpipe that's open in the middle. I also have 1000cc injectors, a Boomba fuel rail, polymotor mounts. So it was able to put down about 450, 460 wheel. This car is tuned on HP tuners, so it's really accessible. I am gonna get a retune on it because the car isn't running really the way I want it to. I feel like it's leaning out. I might be running out of fuel, but I'm not sure. I probably have to get bigger injectors, but I know I only have a 255 Walbro fuel pump. Those are very important too if you plan on going more boost. Alrighty guys, thank you guys for watching. You can find me at Marquez_DSM on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. And this is my Dodge Neon SRT4.